to understand what are the relationship we are having. So how we can relate one table to other table? For that sake, we are having here the concept relationship. Or before going to this, you can just look on this. What are the relationship? What are the keys example? Some it is there. What is a foreign key? What is a unique index? What are the SQL statement? What is the ACID properties for the transactions? Okay. Now relationship. Look at this table here. I have a customer table and order table. I mean customer relations and order relation is there, right? Now here we are saying 1 1 and then 0 to star means one customer can order 0 or maybe more, right? So it's like that. So customer places 0 order or more order that it is representing. So this is the customer, one and only one, okay, is placed by order each. So what is the each customer has placed the order? So it is saying, okay. Now next is the keys. What are the keys we are having? Keys in database are collection of columns. There are various types of keys. Super key. So a super key is any set of attributes whose values taken together uniquely identify each row of the table. So we can say it is a super key, a set of attributes, right? Could be the composite key. Now candidate key. A candidate key is a minimal super key. Minimal means that if you take away any one attribute from the set, it is no longer a super key, right? If you add one more attribute to the set, it is no longer minimal. The word candidate simply means that this set of attribute could be used as a primary key, since we don't want any more attribute in the primary key than unnecessary, right? So primary key, if we column identify uniquely, let us say I have a table and I have a customer ID. The customer ID I have to keep unique. So what we'll do? We have to make a primary key. Okay. So if I am entering some duplicate values in that, will not take. Most tables have a column or group of columns that can be used to identify records. For example, an employees table might have a column called employee ID that is unique for every row. This makes it easy to keep track of a record over time and to associate a record with records in other tables. So if you can see this table here, what we are having, student table, enrollment table and course table. So let us have a 10 course. So every course is having some unique course code, right? So let us say this is my course ID is a primary key here. I have 100 students, suppose. So 100 students, every student is having a student ID, and this is what primary key we are saying now. Enrollment. Let us say I have a columns like course ID, student ID, term grade. Now I want to make all these three as a key. So I can go for primary key, one primary key, not three primary key here. Okay. So, but what we can do, let us say I want to relate here student ID. I want to relate this one to here, right? Then here we'll make a foreign key. This is a foreign key. This is a foreign key, right? So if we are having course, that course ID will only come here. If anyone enter other course ID, should not take, because the course ID is not available. If I have 100 students, that student ID only should go for enrollment, right? So all possibilities are there, and it depends on the design what you have in the database, right? So these are the key that we have seen just now. Student ID for student table, course ID for course table. We can make a primary key here, right? Now foreign key is a field that points to the primary key of another table, as I said just now. Let us say another example I have. Consider you are having item table. In item table I have 100 items, and I have another table that is a sales table, and I want to do the sale for that particular item. So I should enter that item which is existing in my item table, right? In sales table. So how we'll relate it? So there we'll make item ID, and we'll make a foreign key which will relate to my item table of primary key column, right? Okay. Let us look at this one. What is happening here? I have a customer table. So customer table is having, these are the primary key, three fields, right? So this is the primary key. I mean, it is a kind of composite key here. Now this is relating with the foreign key here in my orders table. So again, order tables is having same column. So who has order? The customer who is existing in my table, right? They can only order. So we can refer this data to here. How? With the help of foreign key. I'll just come back here. We have missed some of the things, right? Okay, we have seen this one. Next, unique key. One can define unique index on column or set of columns who does not form the part of the primary key. So what I said here, that you can have only one primary key in your table, but let us say another 2-3 columns I want to make a unique. What will do? Okay, you can go for unique index. It ensures that the columns involved in the definition of the unique index are always unique in each row, right? So that is a unique index. Look at this SQL statements what we are having. As I said, there's a SQL language, right? All this RDBMS, they are using SQL language, and this SQL language again having sub language. So that is divided into like DML, DDL, DCL. I'll tell you some of the other. So DML means data manipulation language. This will help you to select the records, insert, update, and delete. So these are the DML statement. In interview, they ask the question, what are the DML statement? So we can say insert, update, delete, right? So this guy will help you to manipulate your data, not select. Select will just help you to retrieve the data, right? So we can put this in a data query language. There is other sub language we are having. Data definition language, DDL, which will help you to create data. Means it will help you to create a structure. So create table, create trigger, create procedure, create view, create database. Okay. Alter will help you to alter the data. Drop will help you to remove the data. So we can create one structure with the help of this create. We can alter the structure. We can drop the structure with the help of. That's why it is called DDL statement, data definition language. What is the DCL now? DCL is data control language. So it will help you to control your data. How you can control? You have to give some permissions and all. You have to give some privilege. So let us say you have a 10 user and you are providing some privilege to some user, some other privilege to some other user. So according to the privilege, they will use the data, right? So we are having grant and revoke. So grant and revoke will help you to grant the privilege, grant the permission to certain tables for certain work. Like I want to grant select only on my table. So they can only select, they cannot insert or delete. Revoke means we can later revoke it back. Deny is used in the SQL server only. Next we have to understand the ACID. What is the ACID property? If any statement, if we fire to the database, if any statement we fire to the database, that is called transaction. So if one statement is going, it is a one transaction. Okay, I just say select a star from student. This is what? A kind of transaction. If I say insert into table, update, okay, these all are the transaction. So every transactions must follow the ACID property. Just now I said to you, if you remember, in architecture of MySQL, there's a MyISM which is not having transaction. InnoDB engine is having that transactions, right? So we'll understand this ACID properties. There are four part of ACID properties. One is the, you can see here, ACID means atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. That is the ACID mean. So every transaction must have a ACID property. Atomicity tells what? All of the changes will be accepted or none of the changes will be accepted. So if you are doing some change, it will happen all, else none. It is not like half change has done, half is left, so we'll do later or something will happen. No. If you are firing any query, that query will do its task complete or none. It will not do half or 50% or 60%, right? That is what atomicity. Consistency, data is either in the its original or change the state. So if any changes happen to one place, if some other related stuff is there, that should get reflected, that should get changed. So that is what consistency will be maintained now. Third is what? Isolation. Isolation means if multiple transactions is happening at the same time. Let us say 20 transaction is trying to do the same work on the same stuff. So how we can isolate that? So there is one isolation label which help us to set the transactions isolation. So there's the one command set isolation level serializable. There's a different kind of isolation level, read uncommitted, read committed and serializable. Okay, so we have to. So if I set isolation level serializable means all the transactions are separated to each other, they will not interact to each other. Okay, if one transaction complete, then only second transaction will be treated. Durability, once finished, all changes are complete and changes can only be done by another transitions or unit of work. So durability means if once change happen, it will be forever unless and until you do any changes. That is what we are having ACID property.